Hello everyone. In this video, we will cover some more SQL command primarily around our select operator. So we'll try and look at that how you can use select together with some other command patterns that can help you solve many of real world problem that you can solve just by writing SQL query and answer as per your use case. Before we delve into uh, some of those specific select command, I wanted to introduce a new topic, that is functions in SQL. Now, functions in SQL broadly falls into two categories, and we briefly talked about these when we are actually looking at our first lecture on SQL. So the one which actually operates on single row, and there we are having a variation of math, string, and date related function. Under numeric functions, as you can see, so in this video we'll look at some of the common usage of this command, and next video we'll have a deep dive on aggregate related functions. As you can see in this image, single row functions, we have broadly three categories. For numeric functions or math, we are having three functions available. Power, so you can use power x comma y, right? So if you want to do 2 raised to the power 3 or a raised to the power b, the command that you can use is power in the bracket a comma b. Round is used to kind of print your number to a given precision. So if you want only till decimal number, you can use, say, if your number is n, so you can say round n and then by comma 2. And then modulo, the same remainder or percentage operator that you are going to, you can apply modulo using mod operator. This could be quite helpful when you are trying to process your numeric data and looking for some kind of modification on your raw data on individual rows. String is having numerous functions. So U case is for uppercase, right? It means that if you apply anything inside this function, it will get converted to all upper. As you know, lower cases will be all lower. Before, so mid is something, this is more like your substring operation. So you can actually specify index, and that will give you the substring from provided index. Length like alien operator of Python, right? So it can give you a count of that particular string. Then you have insertion, right, at a particular index, or you can insert at left, you can insert at right. So left, right, and insert is for that. And then there is a trim operator that will actually that can remove spaces for you. Trim will remove a space from both sides, and L trim from left, R trim from right. So feel free to practice with this. In our with some of the tables that we have created, we'll try and see that how some of these things can be applied to modify your input data. Then date related functions in any real world data set that we'll be working with, and this is also tested in your board exam, right? So manipulation around date are very common. So you can use now to get the time that is there, right? Then you can get current date. Then if you provide a date, you can get the month out of that using month. Then for any month, if you're having some numeric name, you can get the month name, the string representation. In a similar way, if you're having a date, by operator year and day, you can get the year and day like the month one, and then you'll be having day name. So let us keep in mind, and we'll actually be practicing some of these with one of our table just in some time, right? So before we move, as we said, let us actually initiate our database connection. That is there. Okay. So before okay, so I have noted some problem statement that we'll be actually looking at, right? So what is the query that we have actually? So let us say our query is what? Our query is select, right, all from students, right? And then if you are doing execute query, right, and if you provide this query, what is the output that you are expecting? Students. Let's look at what is the name that we have created. Student. Okay. So we have got all the 5 students that are there in our big database that we have created. Now let us say that we want to play with some of the date related things, right, as well as name, right? So what is the structure of our table? Just have a look at it. We are having roll number, yes name, and yes date of birth, right? So let us say that we are focusing on yes name as well as yes date of birth, right? So okay, in our query we will write yes name comma yes date of birth from a student, right? Let us see what happens. So now you are only having the name and then the date, right? So let us say start the table that you are accessing here, uppercase, right? So you can actually say that apply uppercase, okay, and see what happens. So earlier your names were say Atharva Ahuja or Daisy Futia, whatever, right? Now all of these will get converted to um, uppercase. Okay. Uh, just hold on. Since we are executing, um, you know, um, through cursor, there might be some minor changes while calling this API. Just give me a minute. I'll find that out. Uh, okay. What changes that we are having? The changes that we are having here is yeah, it is okay, it's the same. uh, 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 all from inventory, then just hold on for a minute. We have UCase and string or upper, so UCase as well as upper, right? UCase, yeah. Mm, let me see if upper is available. UCase is not there. So I think the only reason we are not natively okay. So upper works here, right? So yeah, there are some restriction, when you execute things from these, right? So like upper, you can play with lower, right? And when you say lower, all the names as you can see here, right? Athar, Taiji, John, right? So they are now you'll be having them in lower one, right? Now if you actually want to look at substring, right? There are several variations. Substring, where you can give your position and look for n, or you can actually you can sub str, right? Let us first look at actually length of it, right? So we can play. Let us see if we can do that. Let us actually try it out here itself, right? So length, right? So you can get length of all these, right? Then what we are having, uh, lower of SNM. Okay, sorry, there is a typo. Okay, we got lower or upper, and then you are having length. Then let us say that you want to use only substr, right? And say that you want to use all that from fifth position, right? And say 3, right? So accordingly, you can get the substring part working, right? So left and right will be just like your mid, right? So let us see if you get left first. So some all of these are not available. There are certain actually. So only substring, right? And I think then trim will definitely be there. Okay. So anyway, trim, yes, you can do trim, right? Great. Okay. Now, rather than printing only date of birth, right? Say that you want to use month operator on top of this, right? How it will work? Okay, there are issues with month. The issues are coming always across across SQL interfaces. Some of the commands are not supported. We'll find it out which one our version is kind of supporting. So we have here, let us say not month. Do we have day? No. What is saying? No such function as. Okay, let us see if it is date. So date of birth. Now if you take month from here, right? Can we get something? Month is not supported. Now we have to figure it out. Month is not supported. Okay, okay. Is there is anything else supported? Well, let us test it. Let us test it with you know. Give me some conversion here. No. Okay. Here. No. Okay. Fine. So we'll figure it out. I have allow me some time. We'll actually kind of. Is it now supported? No. Is it date supported? So as you can see, right? So date is the only one supported. And then do we have month? So it's fine. No worry. Okay. Okay. These are some of the risks, when we, but in some of your native one, these commands will be available. These functions will be available, the one that we were discussing. Okay. Uh, do we have any of our database with mm, 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 float or something? No. Okay, that's fine. Okay. So now say that there is another operator like, right? And like is used quite extensively. So if you see here, like is more like a substring pattern matching, right? And the like operator makes use of uh, uh, the two wildcard character that you see, percent and underscore. So post percent, you can actually put zero on or multiple characters, right? And you can either precede. So if percent is first and then your characters are next, then the pattern will be more like starting with it and those characters. If you end it with a percent, then actually it will take it from the end. And if you use percentage on both the side, it will look for exact sequence in between, right? So, and then underscore is the one where you don't need to worry about, right? So say that you are looking for all those students whose name start with A. So how we'll go about it? Let me execute it for you. So our query will become what? Our query will become select, right? Select hmm, uh, yes name. Okay, select S name from a student, and then we'll be having a where clause, right? And what this where clause will say, where S name like, right? So it is saying that this should start with A. Start with A means you can do it percent A, and then it close it into a uh, curly square bracket. Okay, sorry, it's happening. Okay, fine, done. So hello, रुक जाओ. So this is our query, and then we can call our execute query, right? And see what happens. So we are only getting all the names, right? Which are sort of starting with A. So Atharo Ahuja, and so we have actually kept only for any of these A, right? So anywhere when you are having our name, select S name from a student where S name like percent A, right? Uh, ending with A. Okay, sorry. Yeah, so I think we can test it, right? So if you are having percent and then A, it means that all the name that will end in A, right? So this A, right? This A. And when you want to keep it in beginning, your syntax changed more like A percent. So then you are only having Atharva and Ali, right? The following query select details of all the student where name ends with a small a, right? And whose date of birth is before June. Okay, we are facing some issue with our month query, but I'll show you the query, and then I need some time to figure it out that for this particular version what is the function name supported. So let us show the queries. Select what is happening. Following query selects details of all the students whose name ends with A, right? So ends with A means what will happen? Percent A, right? Ends with A, and had it been another condition, then we could have actually typed more like you know uh, month of. So then here would have s name, and then by comma we would be having uh, a student date of birth, right? Okay. From a student where s name like a, and month of um, this date of birth, right, should have been less than 5, right? Okay, but this particular query, unless we figure out our month issue, so for time being we'll actually hold on our month related queries, and we'll just focus on this uh, you know uh, like like operator, right? So let us say we are having our query as select yes name, right, from a student where s name like ending with a, okay, and then execute this query. We got all this ending with a, right? So all, say for example 6, right, and they start with a, this particular pattern. um, so in that case, we can have, right, it doesn't match any, because many of 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, right? If you add 2 more, you'll get Alisa, right? Great. um, hmm, okay. The following query selects name of all students containing and as a substring, right? So how you'll get and as a substring? To get and as a substring, you need to have like we already saw. So for substring, one thing you can do is simply put all of these into a square bracket, right? So we can have two of these, right? And okay, let us see if we are having any. So Manika, right? Okay. All names of all students containing A as the second character. How you will get A as the second character? So let us have another, entry. A as the second character. Okay, and from there on, you don't need to worry about it. Okay, fine. So Daisy and Manika. Okay. So we took look at several usage of like. We wanted to execute some joint you know uh, where clauses. Somehow for this particular database version, we couldn't figure out parsing the month part of it. If time permit, in one of the upcoming videos, we will look at it. In the next video on this topic, we will look at the group by clause, and as well as we look at some of the aggregates which works on the multiple row or the whole table. So those will be average, min max, right, those kind of things. So thanks guys for tuning up. See you in our next video.